2 years ago, I made a life-changing decision to go to Japan. And 2 years later, now I feel like it's a good time to talk about it. Like and subscribe, and let's get into it. Sometime in the future, I'll probably do separate videos of each individual month of my time in Japan. But for right now, I just want to talk about my overall 3 months in Japan. First, I want to talk about where in Japan, why Japan, and what made me take that trip to Japan. I ended up staying in Kyoto. I didn't choose Tokyo or Osaka, especially Tokyo sounded too trendy to say. Just whenever you mention going to Japan, the first thing you think of is Tokyo. And to my understanding, and even from things I see, Tokyo isn't really authentic. You know, I mean, it has its authentic parts of Japan, but its overall view and look is more of an international look, which is an issue. But me, I just wanted to go for more of a historical type of city versus a, international one. I made that trip because at the time I was 24 years old, and I'm gonna be honest, I was feeling stuck, and I felt like I need to refine myself again. I felt like I was getting too old to not really go out and discover things for myself. And I felt like it was more to see other than Florence, South Carolina, and South Carolina in general. Now, why Japan is kind of a long story, but I'm going to shorten it up really quick. Growing up, the only Asian country I knew was China. So I thought all of Asia was China. And when I learned about Japan, I thought Japan was a state inside of China. But, you grow up and you learn. But my main introduction to Asian culture was through my grandma. When my grandma was in her 20s, the Asian culture was being exposed more to a lot of the black community. And to shorten up the domino effect, my grandma's generation was the Kung Fu, Bruce Lee days, to my cousins, which was anime, like 90s anime like Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho. And then to about like the late 90s, 2000s, to even now, which is manga and anime through me and going to the library and experiencing manga for the first time. And through all those different generations, I ended up absorbing a lot of Japanese media, because mainly manga. I used to read manga a lot. This right here is the manga that introduced me to Japan. And the creator of this manga is also the creator of One Man Punch, and I still need to watch the anime. After reading a few mangas and even watching some anime, that's when I kind of fell in love with Japanese culture from a kid standpoint. And after absorbing a lot of manga and anime as a kid, it just kind of stuck in my heart and mind to kind of visit Japan one day. And the other small reason for me going to Japan was because the yen was losing its value, and the value was getting lower and lower while the American dollar compared to the yen was staying the same. And also another huge reason was language school. I wanted to learn Japanese in Japan versus here in America. Alright, so my arrival in Japan, we had to drive from my home city of Florence, South Carolina all the way to Columbia, South Carolina. And then I flew from Columbia, South Carolina to Atlanta, Georgia. Which had probably about a layover of 2 or 3 hours, I think. And then from Atlanta, Georgia, to a 13-hour flight to Tokyo. That was a little different. It was my first time on the plane, and I never flew out the country. That was just a different experience. After landing in Tokyo, I had a layover of about 2 hours, but I spent like the first hour and a half in immigrations and walking through the airport trying to get to my next terminal gate. After boarding the plane, I took an hour flight from Tokyo to Osaka, and then I stayed overnight at one of the hotels in the airport. And after using a bidet for the first time in a Japanese hotel, the next morning I headed out to my share house to settle in for my next 3 months. I'm actually in my hotel room now. I am in my hotel room right now, and when I tell y'all, the vibe was immaculate. I can't really describe it. I really don't have much words right now other than thank God. And yeah, so I gotta go meet with the people at the share house around I think it said 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. I gotta look it up because they do military time here with certain things. They use military time to schedule stuff, and I'm not familiar with it, but I know a little bit about it. So I'm gonna update with y'all back on that. Learning another language in another country as an American, it was different. I was thinking they're going to speak in English and then teach us the Japanese part, of course, in Japanese. But no, I was wrong. Even though I read that they were going to speak nothing but Japanese, I was hoping it was like, okay, maybe they'll just show some mercy. No. No, 100% Japanese. They rarely use English in that class unless the word sounds very English, but yeah, you're going to be learning Japanese in 100% Japanese, which isn't an issue, but I was expecting something different. And because of that, I'm not going to lie, I think like the first couple of weeks, close to a month, I didn't really too much know what was going on. I just know read certain lines when it was my turn to read, the little bit of conversation at the time that I knew and what I was practicing with my classmates doing the schoolwork. That's really about it. But like the first like couple weeks / month, I was kind of lost, I'm not gonna lie. But as I started to listen and also be around Japanese language so much, I started to pick up a little bit, and the little pieces I could pick up, that's when adjustments were made. The teachers were helpful, the staff was helpful, the classmates were helpful and cool to hang out with during and after class.
Oh God.
Oh, wow. Ding, ding. Oh, whoa. You know you love me. Okay. It's 7-Eleven. I love you. You are my love. You are my heart. I'll never ever be far. I'll be harder. I love you, friend.
Now this might be the longest part of the video. There seemed to be a festival held about every month in Japan, somewhere in the Kyoto area, but I went to a couple of the festivals with my roommates and friends, somewhere in the downtown area. As well as one in the neighborhood of my share house. I went to one of the annual firework shows that they had in Lake Biwa. I posted a video about like literally 2 years ago, and so I'm gonna just put that link in the description, and I'm gonna tag it in this video. Me and my roommate spent the day to go to Ine, which is probably about, I think, an hour and some change away from the Kyoto mainland. And we also went to go see the Omana Hashidate view from the top. I hope I said that right. Yo. Babby. Yeah, it's a video. My fault. Went to multiple nightclubs in Japan, and my favorite club in Japan is Kitsune. Shout out to y'all.
So yummy, oh it's so yummy. No, you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy. Them moments they that I just don't hang out with.
I went to the Gion district, and I talked about it in one of my videos I made probably about 2 months ago. Still, the feeling of visiting Gion district again in the future, I probably won't do it. I'm not gonna lie. And of course, the last thing, shopping. Other than being in class majority of my time there, another spot I hung out at was Kamogawa. For English, you could say Kamogawa River or Kamo River. If I wasn't in class or hanging out with my roommates and friends, I was just chilling at Kamogawa by myself. Alright, so meeting Japanese people was not what I had in mind. In my mind, meeting Japanese people was like, oh, they're very extroverted, or they're so exaggerated with kindness, and because I'm black, they're gonna come up to me, try to talk with a black accent, or even say like, yo, what's up? Or even start rapping. Older Japanese people would just stare at you like in a rude way and basically make you feel unwelcome. That was really my perception of Japanese people, of the information I've been fed. But even though I heard all those things, I really didn't care. I'm not gonna lie. When meeting Japanese people of any age, regardless, I didn't walk in with the mindset of, oh, they're gonna act like this, so let me respond like this. It was just more of a, let's just see where it goes. Let's see how this interaction goes. And to be honest, in my experience, Japanese people are just like regular people. They are a culture of minding their own business and as well as trying not to bother people. So I guess that's where the introverted angle comes from. But to me, they felt like regular people. I wasn't mistreated. I wasn't disrespected. I wasn't gaijin seated or called any slurs by anybody of Japanese descent. Other than meeting Japanese people, meeting other foreigners, specifically from America or maybe even some European countries, it was like this accomplishment, especially meeting another black person in Japan. It just, I can't explain the feeling. The best I can say is you have to be black to understand. I don't know how it is for white people, but it's like, as a black person, to see another black person in a whole nother country where black people and white people are the minority of said, like, it's just I can't explain it. To the things I disliked about Japan, this is a very petty thing. This is a very petty, nitpicky reason why I dislike something about Japan. It's candy, sugary snacks. To my knowledge, especially for what my roommate told me, it's looked at as childish to eat a lot of candy and sugary snacks if you're not a kid. I don't know why. But I did peep. That's why I didn't have no cereal out when I was over there. Short story how I found out. When I first settled in my share house, I went to the convenience nearby. And because I was feeling for some sugary snacks, you know, some Starburst minis, some soda, you know, just some good old fashioned sugary red 40. I went to the convenience. The section was the section of candy they had was so small. Like it was. I can't even, you have to see it for yourself. But the only thing I could find was gummy bears and Snickers minis, because that's what I was used to. But I get home, I had like 2 bags of them and I was just eating them one day. And as I'm getting the candy out of my cabinet, you know, I hear my roommates in the back snickering. It was 2 of them. I hear them like snickering. I'm just like, I feel like they're laughing at me. But it wasn't like a snicker like, oh, let's like put them down. It was more of like a, like, I don't know. It was just funny for them to watch. And so one of my roommates, she just started asking me, she was like, why do you eat candy? Now, in my mind, I'm sitting there thinking, ma'am, it's candy. It's my God-given right as an American to eat whatever I want. But on a serious note, I just told her, I was like, you know, I wanted some candy. And the closest thing I could find is Snickers minis. And that's when she explained it to me. And then I thought about it. So I asked her, I was like, so is that why I don't see any cereal in the stores? And she started laughing and told me that that's looked at as childish too. Cereal. At least she told me that's what her and the roommate were laughing about. Things I love and missed about Japan. I would probably say one of the top things I missed about Japan was how cheap everything was, but at the same time, I was still paying with my US dollars. I didn't have a job overseas, so the value could end up being a little bit lower when I go back over there and start working my own job, getting paid by Japanese yen. I would say I miss the late night walks. Being able to go out during crackhead hours. Here in America, crackhead hours to me is basically when the sun goes down, like 8:30ish, all the way up until about like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So taking a stroll around midnight to 2 a.m. without having to look over my shoulder, it really is a different feeling and also a new experience. And even here back in America, it's still kind of mind-blowing to think about. And to tag along with the late night walks is safety. For me to walk around at 2 o'clock in the morning, if I wanted to have both earphones in, and not look over my shoulder, I could. But because I don't want to be that example of the one foreigner that just happens to get attacked, I still kind of, every now and then I would still like just casually just look over my shoulder and check my surroundings. Another big thing I missed was Kamagawa. That was my little relaxation, my meditation zone right there. The amount of festivals and activities they had for the city and neighborhood is also something that I miss, how active the city is, and as well as little neighborhoods around the area. And the last thing I can think off the top of my head is the convenience, especially 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven in Japan is way better than 7-Eleven in America. And I'm not saying it because it's Japan. I'm not glazing Japan. Literally, the 7-Elevens in America, that's more of like it's like the last pit stop you want to make if you need to get some gas or get some snacks, you know? And the food option in 7-Elevens here in America, it's not as much as it is in Japan. So that is just a short recap of my 3 months in Japan back in 2023. Yes, I know I'm 2 years late, but at the time, even a year later, I wasn't really too much ready to talk about it. And right now I feel like I am. And also, if you want to see me give a detailed video of each month, like my first month, second month, third month in Japan, I will drop a video if y'all want me to. But it's just, once again, something I wanted to do for my channel, as well as share my experience, especially with me being a black person and going to Japan. I hope y'all enjoyed this one. Like the video. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I will see y'all in the next one. God willing, be safe. Don't do drugs. Put the vape down. Peace.